Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Tori, and today we are going to do another TBR game. This is month 3 of my TBR game already, and if you want to go back and see how the game works in detail, go back to my first video up here where I explain how the game works. But essentially, I have a deck of cards, and I will be drawing cards equal to the number of books that I want to read this month. Each of those cards has a character on it from a collection, and as I fulfill those collections, I'll be able to buy books. And I fulfill the collections by reading the book that the prompt of each card is assigned to. That's the gist. It's not as complicated as it probably looks, but again, you can go back to my first video to see the more drawn out explanation. But basically, I'll be drawing cards and picking books based on the prompts that the cards have. So the first thing that we're going to do is draw our location card, which basically gives us an overarching prompt for the whole TBR. And that's going to start off our TBR game. So I'm going to shuffle these and not look at them because my printer was running out of ink when I printed these cards, and I'm too lazy to print new ones yet, so I just can't look at them. So we are going to have this one as our location card for the month of August. And we have Camor. Den of Thieves. Draw 1 extra SFF read this round. I'm not mad about it. So once I draw all of my character cards and I figured out what I'm reading on the TBR as a whole, then I will go back into my science fiction fantasy jar vessel and pull an extra read from my shelves. We'll set that aside up here so we don't forget about it. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna draw 5 cards again this month because that feels pretty good. In the last couple of videos I've done, that's been kind of the magic number for us so far. It doesn't feel insurmountable. It's a little bit of a challenge with how busy life is right now. And again, if I don't finish the book associated with the card just goes back in the deck at the end of the month. So I don't lose anything if something goes crazy and I don't have as much time to read as I would like to in the month of August. We've got our deck, and we are going to start with the first card, which is going to be Hilo. Draw a priority read. Hilo also has a secondary effect that I can take 1 character card in play and shuffle it back into the deck and draw a replacement. So if I draw a card that I don't like, I can shuffle it back into the deck and draw something else. But first we're going to start by drawing a priority read from this container. These are from my 25 books I want to read in 2025 video that I did in like November or December last year. And in it were just a whole bunch of books that I really wanted to get to this year. So this is it. All right. No one, I don't think you guys can see that. No one writes back. Give me a second. No One Writes Back by Jung Yoonjin. This is a Korean novel, translated, about a, I think, young man who is writing a bunch of letters to random people that he sees people watching, and of course nobody ever writes back. And I think it's a story of loneliness and you know, the loss or not having that kind of human connection that we all need and want. So I'm actually really excited about this. This is a contemporary novel. I'm trying to remember when it was written. 2009, originally published in its Korean language. So we have a translated novel as our first book on the stack, which I'm not mad about at all. I've been reading a lot of science fiction and fantasy lately, and of course I love it because it's my favorite genre, but it is always nice to have a little bit of a palette cleanser. So we're gonna put this on the shelf, and that will start off our TBR. Next, we are going to draw our second card of the TBR, and that will be this one right here, Severus Snape. His effect is to read a book with political intrigue or read a book that has been on your TBR longer than 2 years. Okay, I think I know which one I'm gonna pick. All right, so for Severus Snape's effect, I am going to pull Tower Lord by Anthony Ryan off of the shelf. So I read Blood Song, I think 2 years ago, and this has been on my TBR that long, so it fulfills both of the prompts for this card. This is book 2 in his Raven's Shadow trilogy. And I loved Blood Song. It was a 5-star read for me, absolutely adored it, and I just have never continued on in the series. I think part of that was because I'd heard some things about book 2 that people did not enjoy it as much as book 1. But I feel like at this point I'm far enough removed from book 1 that book 2 I think is going to be able to hold its own. Maybe. We'll see. I'm not sure. But we can always hope. So Tower Lord is going to be my next one that I want to put on the list. Also because I want to finish some series. I finished a series for the first time this year in July, and it felt amazing. And I had kind of forgotten how good it feels to finish series. And so we're gonna do more of that and make our way through the Raven Shadow trilogy. So I'm gonna stick Snape's card in the book so I know which one it is attached to, and we're going to add that to the stack. All right, so I still haven't forgotten about Hilo's effect, where I can take a character card in play and reshuffle it back into the deck and get replacement. I will hopefully have a card that comes up that I don't want to do this month, and then I'll be able to switch it out for something else. But card number 3 is gonna be Raiden Ward from the Misfits. The effect is read a book with armor or weapons on the cover and draw a Kindle read. This is gonna be a very big TBR, you guys. So I'm drawing 5 cards, but I'm already going to have 2 extras added to the stack with the Kindle read from this card and also my extra SFF read from the location card. So we're already at 7 books for August. So, and the dumb part about that is, for this card I have to read both the Kindle read and the book that I choose in order to get this card. So, who designed this game, honestly? That's my question. Do I want to replace this? Guys, do I want to replace this? Yeah, kinda. We're gonna use Hilo's secondary effect, and I'm going to put Raiden Ward back into the deck, and I'm going to shuffle and draw something else. Because I feel like because I'm already adding a 6th book to the stack with the location card, I don't know that I want 7, and I don't want to have to read 2 books this month to gain a card. That just feels like too much. I have too much that I need to do this month. So we're just gonna not do that. All right, watch me draw Raiden Ward again and just have to deal with it. No, okay, cool. We have Zario from my book, The Bloodstones. His effect is draw a priority read. His secondary effect is to replace another character's effect with draw a priority read or continue a series. This is getting very complicated, you guys. Okay, well, we're gonna draw another priority read, which is good because I actually was hoping to get to more priority reads in August because I've been a little behind on reading those, which the card deck is helping me out with. So these are all stuck together and I'm trying to I only need one. Okay. So for Zario's effect, the priority read we're going to be reading is How Do You Live by Genzaburo. Hold on, I need to find it. Where is it? How Do You Live by Genzaburo Yoshino, which is a translated work from Japanese, and I have heard that this is Hayao Miyazaki's favorite book, which makes me very excited to read it because as the mastermind behind Studio Ghibli, obviously I'm very excited to read his favorite book. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this, and it is definitely more of a middle grade / YA level story, which I'm so here for right now because I could definitely use a book that is deep and meaningful but isn't quite as complex in writing structure. So very excited to read this, and I'm really glad that that was the one that I drew. And I can't forget about Zario's secondary effect, and I'm gonna have to switch somebody out with a priority read. Or continue a series. That's right, I could do either one. Let's see what we draw. I could have switched Raiden Ward's, never mind. I'm not going to talk about all the card effects because that's just going to make it more confusing. So, card number 4 is Bug from the Gentleman Bastards collection. His effect is to read a fantasy book less than 300 pages. And while that sounds awesome, I think I would like to use Zario's secondary effect to change Bug's effect to a priority read or continuing a series. So I think I'm going to draw from the continue a series vessel, which makes me a little nervous because some of these series I'm so excited to get back to and I'm really looking forward to it. Others, I'm just not in their headspace, or that headspace right now, their headspace. Anyways, so let's see which way the cookie crumbles, shall we? The Conqueror series. Oh! Alright guys, this is a series I have not continued for a long time. Again, I think I read the first book a couple of years ago, and that is Con Eagledon's Conqueror series. The first one was Birth of an Empire. This one is Lords of the Bow. This series follows the rise of Genghis Khan to power and the Mongol Empire. And I loved the first book. I absolutely loved the first book, but I just haven't picked up anything after that. So yeah, historical fiction. I'm actually really glad that we drew the location card that's going to force me to read more science fiction and fantasy next month, because so far, this is a variety of genres so far, which I'm not mad about. So, Lords of the Bow will be on the list to read for August. All right, guys. So our final card for August. I'm not mad about the TBR so far. I'm kind of hoping for a science fiction fantasy read, or yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we get. We'll see what we get. Okay. We got, okay, hold on. Lady Crega Rose Eyes from the Misfits collection. If you guys don't know who Lady Crega Rose Eyes is, you're missing out, because Lady Crega Rose Eyes is one of the coolest, most awesome barbarian-esque characters who's also a queen, and she's a badger. So I'm just saying, if you don't know who Lady Crega Rose Eyes is, you might need to remedy that, because she's awesome. Anyways, her effect is draw 4 SFF reads, choose one, and return the others. She heard me. She heard me, you guys. 4 science fiction fantasy reads, and I get to pick one. Okay, so the first option is Northern Wrath. You guys can't see that. By Tilda Cold Holt. Northern Wrath by Tilda Cold Holt. There we go. Apologies. All right, so that is option 1. I'm going to put that over here. Option 2 is... What is it? Dawn of Wonder by Jonathan Renshaw, I believe. Book 1 of The Awakening. Trying not to get a glare. This one's pretty... These are pretty chunky, you guys. Me, after complaining that I wasn't reading enough SFF this month. Okay. Third option. The fun part about this is I want to read all of these. So, ooh, Sanguine Sands by Alec Hudson. Oh, that's going to be a strong contender, you guys. This is book 2 of his Sharded Few series, and the first book, The Umbral Storm, I really liked a couple years ago, and this just came out. So that's gonna be a strong contender, I think. All right, and our fourth and final option is gonna be Yumi and the Nightmare Painter by Brandon Sanderson. Oh boy. This one right here. Wow. What a stack. Here's my thought process, you guys. I really would like to continue some series, and this one is a standalone. So I'm not technically starting a new series with this one, which I appreciate. Not mad about that. This one, I really want to read this one. Yeah, I think we're gonna read Sanguine Sands. I think that's the correct choice. I do really desperately want to read Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. I want to read Dawn of Wonder, and I also want to read Northern Wrath. But Dawn of Wonder and Northern Wrath are both book 1s and a little bit chunkier. So I feel like for August, where I have a lot of other stuff going on, I want to be able to give those my full attention, and I just feel like I'm not there this month. But Sanguine Sands, I think, is a book that I have been waiting to read for quite a while, so I'm really excited to get to this. All right, guys, so with our 5 character cards that we've drawn, the TBR currently stands with Tower Lord by Anthony Ryan, No One Writes Back by Jong Yoonjin, How Do You Live by Genzaburo Yoshino, Genghis Lords of the Bow by Con Iggulden, and The Sanguine Sands by Alec Hudson. I'm continuing 3 series with that pile, which feels pretty darn good, I'm not gonna lie. And I still have to draw 1 extra book to add to this pile, thanks to my location cards effect. So it is quite possible that one of the 3 books I just put back on the shelf, I might draw. It's not like super crazy likely, but let's do this one. Okay, the last book that I'm adding to my TBR is The Lions of Al-Rassan by Guy Gavriel Kay. Okay, so The Lions of Al-Rassan doesn't earn me a card, but it's an extra TBR read, and I'm actually really excited to read this. This is, I think, a more Middle Eastern setting. And this is the book that everyone has told me I should start with Guy Gavriel Kay. So I'm excited about that. I do think that this is going to be a really fun read and a good entry point for me with this author. I honestly, based on everything that I know about Guy Gavriel Kay, I don't know how I'm going to land with his work, which is fine. I really don't know yet. So I think Lions of Al-Rassan is, from what I understand, the best place for me to start with his work, and will give me a good idea of whether or not he is going to be an author I enjoy reading. So that is the official stack for the end of the TBR game round. However, there is another book that I'm going to throw on this list that you guys might be a little curious about after the last month or 2 of me reading, and that is a really chunky book. Demon in White by Christopher Rocchio. I'm not including this in the TBR game because I'm going to try this book, and I'm going to see if the first 100 to 150 pages really pull me in, make me intrigued, get me excited. If they don't, I'm probably going to put Sun Eater down and DNF the series, but I do want to give this at least a little bit of a chance to see for sure. Howling Dark was a really tricky experience for me in June, and I needed a break, which is why I did not continue with Sun Eater in July, and now I want to go back and at least try Demon in White and just see if I like the book or not. And if I don't, then I'll move on to a series that I'm really excited to read and cheer for all of you guys who love Sun Eater, because I think that's awesome. So I am gonna add this chunky thing to the list. So now this is starting to look a little, It's starting to look a little intimidating, I'm not gonna lie. But like I said before, Demon in White, I'm not going to force myself to finish the book if I'm not feeling it. So, you know, that makes it a little bit less ambitious. I'm really excited to continue some series. That makes me very excited. And also just get some more books on my shelf that I've read. We're upping that percentage of read books on the new shelves, and it feels amazing. And the reading challenge is going really well, and I've done I think, pretty good job with my book buying ban. I did break down and buy 2 books over the last couple of months, but that's it, which for me is pretty darn good. And yeah, so let's get reading. I would love to know down in the comments if you have a TBR for August, what you're planning on reading. If you don't have a TBR, just let me know what you've been feeling lately, what kind of books you're interested in reading. If you have a specific book that's calling your name off your shelves, let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out in my little corner of BookTube. Check out the description box below for all of my cool links if you want to hang out with me in other spaces on the internet and check out my books. I hope you're having a fantastic week. I hope you are reading some 5-star reads, and I will see you in the next video.